Am I the a-hole for exposing my ex, Thomas, to his mother for the lies that I caught him up in? Let's see what happens next.
I, 45 female, am currently divorced from my ex-husband, Thomas. It was a 30-year marriage. We ended up seeing a lawyer to help with dividing stuff. Everything was pretty much wrapped up till he said he no longer wanted any part of our kids' lives. 5-year-old and a 12-year-old. I did not argue with him about it since I already know what it's like having a parent who doesn't want you around or wants to be in your life. I asked what he wanted me to tell the kids, and he just said,
"Whatever you think's best. I don't care. I don't want to be a parent anymore."
Everything was in agreement and signed with no fuss. A few weeks later, I get a call from my ex-mother-in-law, asking if we could meet each other. When I come over, she broke down crying and begging to let my ex see his kids again. I was confused about what she meant because not once did he contact me after meeting the lawyer. She went on and on about how my ex said, quote,
"He really missed them, and I was just being a petty beep for taking full custody."
Also, that he was crying for days about it. I told her my version of events, and she called it bullcrap, saying her son would not lie about that, especially not about his kids. Then I decided to call him in front of her. He did not know she and I were meeting that day. I said, quote, "Hey, our son has a soccer game in a few days," which he did, not a lie. "And I was wondering if you wanted to go. I know he'd really love to see you and it'd make him happy." He instantly said,
"Oh, no. I already said I'm not doing this anymore."
I raised my voice a bit, saying, "Oh, well, what about holidays and birthdays? Because we never focused any of it on your family might want to see them." He just said,
"My family already thinks the kids aren't mine, so it doesn't matter."
I asked, "Well, how do you think it's going to affect Denise, your mother? She's over the moon about them."
She loves me more than the kids. I doubt this will even be an issue for her."
After a bit more talking, we finally hung up. Ex-mother-in-law was straight-faced and nodded at everything. It just happened right in front of her, saying, "Okay." She asked me to leave and said we would be in touch. Later that day, I got a call from my ex saying how it's my fault he was kicked out of his mom's house and possibly will be taken off her will. Also, that none of his family members will talk to him because of what ex-mother-in-law heard. He threw a lot of insults at me before I hung up, and now him and his mates keep calling and texting me. My friend is saying I shouldn't have said anything in the first place, and well, I ruined his life.
In my opinion, OP is not the a-hole. In fact, yes, Thomas does have a right to sign off his rights, but he does not have a right to slander OP and try to make her out and paint her like she's the bad guy who won't let Thomas see her son, which is completely not true. Okay guys, let me know what you would say to Thomas in the comment section below. Our next story is about a couple who aren't together anymore. Well, OP is having a birthday party for his kid, and this ex shows up and she's demanding to see the kid. Here's exactly what happened.
I'm a 33-year-old male and my ex and I broke up 2 years ago. We've been trying to have kids but cannot because of my infertility. It was just very disheartening for me. My ex wanted to keep trying, but it was just too painful. I told her I wanted to stop for now. Not stop forever, but to give some time to grieve the fact that I'd never be able to father kids of my own, before we looked into other avenues. She did not want to wait any longer and broke up with me. A couple months later, I had a drunken one-night stand with my son's mother. To my surprise, she got pregnant. And yes, we made sure he was in fact my biological child because I never thought this could ever happen. He was a beautiful miracle. My son's mother unfortunately passed when he was 4 months because of issues with COVID. Ever since, I've been a single father and my ex has tried to make contact. I don't want to have any contact because my life is different. There's no place for her anymore. Her biggest advocate has been my sister because, well, we were together for years and broke up due to the kid conflict. And apparently, now that I have a child, we could, quote, make it work. We celebrated my son's first birthday 2 weeks ago. My family and his mom's family was there. My ex found out, I'm sure through my sister or someone else in my family, and she brought a gift for my son. But I did not even let her come in. We had an argument at the door because she would not leave. My ex was trying to convince me to let her stay so she could meet my son, and we could talk about things. I already knew what she wanted to do because she feels like she could take his mom's place on his life, and that is not gonna happen. She eventually left, but I was pretty mad at that point. My ex wanted to leave the gift for him. The reason I refused to accept it is so she doesn't think she has a chance being around. Well, she left it at my door, so I just threw it away. He's got plenty of other gifts. Because this happened in front of everyone, my ex and sis think I was the a-hole for humiliating her in front of not just my family, but also my son's family. I would have been less chaotic to have taken her to the side and had a private conversation, so she could have slipped out without anyone noticing. On top of that, she found out I got rid of her gift, which they think I was an a-hole for, because that was meant for him. And it did not give me the right to throw it out, and it's something that belonged to my son. I'm still bitter towards my ex for how things ended, and seeing her made me react that way because, well, it was out of anger and hate for her. I'm wondering if I'm the a-hole for how the whole thing was handled, or was I in the right?
I think OP's sister is the real villain of this story for getting involved and not giving OP the distance and space he wanted. He did not want his ex to show up there and, well, he made a scene. I can't say I blame him for that as he was pushed to darn near the limit. Let me know how you guys would have handled the ex who showed up at the birthday party with a gift. I would love to know your opinion. Our next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for saying karma get my stepsister? She doesn't deserve a happy ending. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Here on Mr. Reddito, we read stories every single day, and you never want to miss an update. So click that subscribe button. Here's the next story.
My mom and stepdad got married when I was 1 year old. My stepsister was 7, and most of my life I was afraid of her. She was later diagnosed bipolar disorder, and she got older, she got worse. She ruined my life, and everything that I owned growing up was either destroyed or she took it. She'd even find a way to ruin my friendships or relationships, but my mom and her dad would always tell me she can't help it. It came to a head when I was 15. She gave my hamster away, and then, when I made her feel bad about it, she trashed my room for the 100th time. It got to the point I had to leave all my school stuff and clothes at my neighbor's house so she would not ruin them. And before anyone asked, after years of therapy, I now know she was manipulated by my mother to not tell my dad so he would go for full custody, and she would not get her huge check to spend on my stepsister's treatments, which they, mom and stepdad, spent every penny on. My neighbor told my dad the whole situation. It's a long story short. He got full custody and I've not talked to her in 10 years before the other day. Recently, I've started having a relationship with my mother again, and letting her get to know my 2 kids, 2-year-old male and my son who's 4 months. She and my stepfather kept bringing up meeting my sister so she can be an aunt, saying she's way better now and wants to see my kids. I told them in one certain term, I don't want her in our lives. Wednesday, I stopped by my mother's house and my stepsister was there with her preacher husband. Apparently, she found God, laugh out loud. She tried to hold my baby, but I told her no. Then she busted out in tears, apparently. Now she says she can't have kids of her own. In one of my petty moments, I told her it was karma, due to everything she put me through. Then she and my mom tried to explain that it was the BPD, not her, and I'm ableist for holding it against her. My boyfriend got me out before I could think of anything to say. Basically now I'm a bad person all over again, and my mom wants nothing to do with me. Again.
Okay, so my opinion on this one is not the a-hole. I agree with everything OP said. She does not have to let her sister back in her life or let her be near her baby. I don't think the sister is the most vile in this story though. I think it's the mother for allowing this to happen OP's entire childhood. Let me know exactly what you guys think of this. Who was worse? Let me know in the comment section down below. Was it the vile sister or OP's mother? I would love to hear from you. Here comes our final story of the day.
My sister, who's 27, has been with her fiance Dale for 3 years. My family and myself absolutely cannot stand him. From day one, he was just this rude, obnoxious slob, and we don't have a clue what she sees in this guy. He's 30 and cannot hold down a job for shit. Either he quits because he doesn't like it or gets fired after many absences. We're embarrassed to even go out to restaurants with him because he will throw a fit over something in his food trying to get a free meal. I tried to avoid interactions with him when I can because simply I can't stand him. With the pandemic, my sister got laid off and they moved in with a friend a few months ago just to save up some money, especially because they found out my sister is pregnant 3 months ago. Now, my sister tells me Dale and his friend got into some dispute so they can't live there anymore. She's asking if it's okay if they stayed with me for a while, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Aside from Dale being an a-hole in general, I've heard he's an even bigger pain in the butt to live with. Before the pandemic, there was a whole bunch of drama with the landlord at his old place. Dale stopped paying rent and then was refusing to leave, even after being given an eviction notice. No idea how it went down, but he managed to stay there longer until the landlord could go through the whole court process to get him out. My sister told me all about it because she was having fights with Dale, trying to get him just to leave already. The last thing I want is to invite that possible headache into my home, knowing what a freeloader he is. Might even be harder right now if I decide I don't want him in my house anymore, with some places still putting evictions on hold. I told my sister my concerns. She swears Dale would not do that, but she couldn't even convince him to move out of the last place he was staying at. Now, I get she's pregnant, and I told her I'd be more than happy to give her a place. Just not Dale. She's pretty mad I'm willing to help him out as well and for not trusting them. They're supposed to be moving out by next week with still no place to go. I told my sister my offer still stands for her, but I can't accept Dale with his history. She says I'm an awful brother and can't believe how badly I'm acting in their time of need. Am I an a-hole for going down this route?
Yeah, I think this one's easy, not the a-hole. It sounds to me like Dale is a real piece of work. And the fact that he's already had eviction problems and just straight up refused to leave proves that Opie is correct and she should not allow Dale. I do like the fact though that she's letting her sister come if Dale doesn't come. That's good, and hopefully their bond isn't ruined forever. That's all the content I have for you guys today, but remember, drop your comments down below. I read every single comment the first hour the video's uploaded. So drop your comments, subscribe to the channel, have a wonderful night. Mr. Reddito will see you guys tomorrow. Bye!